self-serving, persuasive talkers
of everything and nothing.
We are Conversation Con Artists.
What's going on, people? It's your boy, Mr. On Point.
And I am Calamity Red.
And we are Conversation Con Artists, back for another wonderful, fantastic episode. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Mister_on point. And on TikTok at Eddie B Talking and Eddie B Eating.
And I can be found at Red_Calamity. Also, we are still doing the listener letter portion of the show. So if you have a question, comment, read a letter that you would like for us to respond to, you can send it to our Gmail account, which is conversationconartist@gmail.com. Or you can find us on any of the aforementioned social media. And we got a letter from Tag, but before we get into that, I want to talk about this game that is kind of a continuation of a conversation that we've had before. But I have an Oculus 2, I think. And it's a virtual reality game, but it's called Deism. Mm-hmm. You're God in this game. Like, you're literally God. And you start with like a little square piece of grass and you build a world and you determine like whether you're going to put down a forest or like, and so eventually you put down animals and all of that, and then humans come. And so the point of the game is to get the humans from, basicness to the modern age.
Okay.
By doing different things. Here's the thing. As God, my power to do things comes from their belief in me. So there's like heretics that'll show up randomly and be like, basically, I don't exist. The fun shit is that the heretics, I could either smite them with lightning. That is so satisfying. Or I could literally pick them up and yeet them off the world. Like literally, you just toss them and they just go into. Or you can hold them in your hand and just crush them.
I feel like this is a game that like your mama, my mama would love.
No.
Well, I mean, in the sense that they can destroy the people who don't believe.
Yeah, but it's making fun of God. So I think our moms would be blasphemous. They wouldn't enjoy it. They would think.
Would they notice it? Like, could you tell your mama this just a game about God and getting rid of the bad people? How long into playing it would they realize I don't think this is what this is?
Yeah, briefly. Because like it's a whole list, so I can give them disease, tornadoes, I can smite a whole group. There's so many ways that you can fucking completely disseminate and start over if you want to.
But these are things God be doing. Like, do you think they would do them because God do them, or do you think they would do? Well, I mean, I guess realistically, they wouldn't be able to perceive God's existence because we are humans and God is not human. Mm-hmm. So the reason that God put empathy and sympathy in us to not do those things, he ain't got it.
I mean, I don't. And so there's, again, your power. So like, let's say I just let the heretics run them free. They will eventually group together and create like atheist cities, and like you can fuck yourself up. So again, my power to do anything, good or bad, comes from their belief. And you literally have a counter on your arm that shows you, because each thing you want to do costs like mana in another game, right? So like you have to build it up to do certain things. Like it's like 100 mana to smite some people. So I have to have enough mana if I want to do that. And the only way for me to accumulate that is their belief in me. And so you can do something. So like with the heretics, you can turn a heretic. You either just kill them or you can turn them by like doing a miracle in front of them, which is what I was saying the other week about, I don't understand why God just don't reveal himself, because then there wouldn't be atheists, because we'd all see it. We know.
I think there will still be atheists.
How would they explain it? How you gonna explain that shit?
Because,
like if they saw it, the atheists don't believe.
So what is it called? What would it be called if you believe in God, but you believe that he is terrible, and you still don't want to follow?
You still a believer. I don't know that they have a name for that, because like agnostic is, well, maybe agnostic, you don't know. Agnostic they don't know, they're still questioning a bunch of stuff. So maybe that, but you still a believer. You believe he exists.
Because for my philosophy class, the biggest issue with God ain't whether he real or not, is the quality of the entity. It's like God might be like a otherworldly Hitler.
Well, but atheists don't believe he exists at all. Like they don't think that there's anything other than the science and the things that we know. They don't believe in a deity at all. So there is a group of people that don't believe the shit exists at all.
That mean everybody would be a theist. Would have to be a theist then.
Well, like I said, I think people who question it are agnostic. They're not a theist, but I don't know what agnostic, the breakdown of the word means.
I mean, I guess you could just not believe it. Anyway. Because if you believe in another God, then you can probably rationalize and justify out why this ain't real. Or what? I'm not willing to shake up. Like Buddha. Buddha ain't... Wait. There are religious figures that are not under God, like the God of the Bible.
What? But, I mean, so...
I don't know if Buddha is one of them. Buddha might be another prophet of God. I can't remember.
He could come down and say, "I am all of those things. Y'all just call me different things." He could be Buddha. He could be all of those things, just being called different names. So he could come down and say, "I'm everything. I'm all the things that y'all believe. All of y'all just believe in a different version of me." He could be all of those things, which Christians would be shook as fuck because they believe most religions believe their version is the real version and their only version. Jewish people would be shook too because they didn't believe God, Jesus was the Messiah.
We should just say, okay, I agree, you're God. Because if we disagree with him and he got to prove that shit to us, he gonna do some stupid shit.
He do stupid shit already.
But I'm saying the shit that he was about to prove, to Abraham, he was about to take his son's life. If we don't believe him and he come down here and he got to prove to us that he real.
He did it already. He wiped the whole world out with a fucking flood.
Well, now it's gonna be fire.
That's what he said.
Ice.
It's gonna be fire next. Well, that's what I don't know if there's a song that says that. I don't know if the Bible says.
Might jumpstart that bitch. Oh, y'all don't believe me? Snap a finger in motherfucking flames.
That's what I do. Fire is another thing you can do on deism. It's a cool game if you have an Oculus Quest, and you can be a benevolent God. You can be a God that never lets them, because they like diseases will be created on their own as the cities progress. You can heal all the shit. Like you could be the God that you believe God is, that benevolent God who like takes care of his humans, or you could constantly fuck shit up. Right, I let a civilization get all the way to like the modern times, and then I just destroyed that shit.
Damn.
He had to start over.
That's wild.
But it's a cool game. It really is. The concept of it is very cool. They did an update. Like I played it when I first got my Oculus, but the game was still being it was like in beta, so it wasn't that good. But now they got it. They got it pretty good. Like I said, there's a lot of things that you can do. You can build Asian cities. You can build like cities made of ice, and you have to. So the only way for the civilization.
What was the first word you said? Asian cities.
Mm-hmm.
Asian, like with Asian people.
Yeah.
Why did you choose? What other cultures can you have a city of?
So only like what you would call, I guess, Americans. I guess Asian cities. Nordic, because it's like an ice place that you can do, and then whatever would be in the desert. That's it.
Oh, you made it sound like motherfucking
Japanese
and Taiwanese motherfuckers gonna be fighting.
No, because I don't know what I don't choose. It's all Asian to me to be safe, because I don't want to pick a thing, because it's like those Japanese.
You're talking about the landmass you can choose when you start the game.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so it's like the buildings and shit look like those like the huts you see, or like the buildings that you see in like feudal Japan. There's like them little cherry blossom trees and shit. So to be safe, I just say Asian.
Gotcha.
Like I said, there's a Nordic place that you could build that's made on ice, and in the desert, and you have to have all of those in order, because each of them make different things. For them to eventually be able to get to oil, you have to have the city in the desert. In order for them, what does the Asian cities give? Maybe jewels? I think jewels come from them. So you got to have at least one of each, and then they start trading with each other. But they also start wars on their own and shit. Like you don't have, I mean, if they get to doing too much, I'll just smite everybody. Like, sit y'all asses down and go back to your own respective places.
Damn.
But it's a cool game. It's been interesting to play it, and it just reminded me of the conversations that we've been having. Like I said, I hadn't played it for a while because it was in beta, but now they've expanded it quite a bit, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting, but it's called Deism, and it's pretty cool, funny. I've always said I told my little brother because I've always said that if I was God, I'd be smiting motherfuckers left and right, and I smite.
Damn.
You can literally yeet them. It's so funny because you literally pick them up and just throw them, and they're just like, and they go out. There's like spaceships that come. And so in order for you to really reach the modern age, you have to crash at least one of the spaceships so that they can study the technology and become modern. That's required to complete for them to get.
Game is odd.
It is a very odd game, but it's interesting.
A lot of shit going on.
It is. And you can make your world as big as you want to. You can just keep creating little civilizations, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have an Oculus, so I don't have access to that game right now. I got a PlayStation 5, but I haven't opened it yet.
Why?
I don't care. I bought it because they weren't accessible, not because I wanted to play it.
I think it's just a VR
I eventually
game.
want to play the new God of War and the new Horizon Zero Dawn, but
I
have both of the games and Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man too.
I did not know. I knew that Diablo 4 was coming in June. The new Zelda game, the new the sequel to the Breath of the Wild, it comes out in May. I'm excited as fuck.
Oh, May?
Yeah.
That's pretty soon.
It's I'll be playing that before Diablo. It's the follow-up to Breath of the Wild, so if you played Breath of the Wild, I forgot what it's called. Still that same open world kind of a situation, so I'm excited. I have a Switch so I can play, because I think, is Zelda and that whole franchise relegated to just Nintendo?
Yeah.
Okay. Thought so. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That comes out in May.
That's what's
so
up.
I'll be playing that before Diablo even comes out. That'll be the next game I buy, will be the Breath of the Wild sequel.
And I'm looking forward to Diablo. Did we play a game together before?
Mm-hmm. On Xbox.
I don't remember how much we played together. It must not have been that much.
When did we play it? I can't remember if it was, how old is that game? Was I still in Montgomery when we were playing it, or was it when I was in Hoover?
It was when you was in Hoover.
Okay.
I think.
I don't think we played it a ton. Because I had played it, I think I wanted you to help me because I was having trouble getting through some areas. And so we played online. I can't remember. But we did play it. It was on Xbox.
Anyway, we have a letter from Tag. And appreciate you, Tag, for sending us that letter. The title of the email is Miles Davis on the Meat.
I don't even know what that means. But okay.
Today I fucked up by pretending my boyfriend's penis was a trumpet.
Oh, okay, now the Miles Davis reference makes sense. But I don't know why you would, why would you do that?
Maybe she was thinking about playing the rusty trombone.
That's not what that means.
The old rusty trombone.
Well,
I mean, she chose a very specific instrument. She chose a trumpet.
Why are you treating a penis like a trumpet? Any instrument, guitar, what under what circumstances would that make sense?
Trumpets got the part where
have the top. No, that's a trombone. A trumpet just has the keys on top that you just do this with.
Oh, yeah. Why? I don't know why this is a problem.
Why? What do you mean you don't know why it's a problem? It's fucking weird. Who does that? If I was a guy, I would think like, what the fuck is you doing? What? It's weird. That's fucking weird. You read the letter.
You never done anything
obviously
weird when a dude be naked next to you?
Why? No, I haven't.
Like, not weird, but like I've been naked laying there and a girl been laying there and she just slap it just for no reason.
No. Nope. 'Cause why? For what? No. Mm-mm. But I also don't just run up and slap people in general, so.
Do you like romance?
Do I like romance? I think so. I don't know.
So, in aromanticism, you heard of aromanticism.
Yes.
If you hadn't heard of aromanticism, it's just people that are just not connected to romance. There is a version of aromanticism where people are romance repulsed, where they're repulsed by the idea of touching and connecting and stuff like that.
What you just described is not romantic. Reaching over and slapping somebody's dick is not romantic.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's just a greater conversation about you generally like being so like coy and backed away from like sexual stuff, and it's like
I'm not though. Like again, this is the same conversation. Okay, I'm gonna bring this back. It's gonna sound like you're gonna be like, what does this have to do with this conversation? I was following Chloe Bailey from Chloe and Halle.
Chloe Bailey fine.
She is, but like
you said was.
Yeah.
Why you stop?
I'm tired of looking at her ass.
I'm finna go look at Chloe Bailey right now.
Like, I'm just tired. So for me, taking charge of your sexuality is not showing people your ass all the time. But some people feel like that's what they have to do. And if you don't do that, then you're not taking control of your sexuality. You're being controlled by all of these norms that say you're... No, I just don't want to see your ass. I don't want to show my ass, right? I don't think that me being a sexual person requires me being willing to talk to whomever the fuck about what I do sexually. To me, that's not being sexual. That's just you talking about shit. Like, I'm sexual with the people that I'm sexual with, but I don't feel the need to talk about it. In the same way that I feel like I'm proud of my body and I feel like that but I don't feel like I gotta show it. Like, I got tired of seeing Chloe's ass. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I started following her on Instagram, and every other picture was her showing off some kind of... Like, I got tired of it. Now, I didn't get in her comments and say, you should be ashamed, and nobody wants to see that. I just unfollowed her. Because I got tired. Because it was more that than it was anything about her music or her singing. Like, her and her sister used to post videos on YouTube of them singing, and that's how they got to the... That's how they got to the attention of Beyonce, was through those videos. She don't even post music shit. It's literally pictures of her in different lingerie-based kind of fucking... And I don't want to see that. So I stopped following her.
So, I don't think that showing your ass means that you're doing it because you're sexually liberated.
She has said that. She has said that she wanted to make sure that people understood that she's confident in her body, she's proud of her body, and she's an adult now. She said that that's what it is. That's what she said. And I good for you, girl, but I don't feel like I have to see it for you to show me that you feel that way. I'm tired. Like, it's too much. Every time I'm scrolling, sweetie, it's your ass or your tits, and I'm over it. So again, I didn't make a big stink about it because I don't understand why people do that. Just unfollow them. So that's what I did. I don't follow her anymore. So I don't have to see that shit. When I see something about her music, because I like her music, then I'll go and I will find her music. But I got tired of seeing her ass all the time. Like, even her Christmas, like, how you turn Christmas into a fucking, like, what? So I was over it. Stop following her. I think that when people feel like they're proud of something, that means that the only way for you to be able to say that is by putting it in everybody's face. I just don't think that's I don't think sexual freedom for women is showing your ass every 2 seconds and telling people that they shouldn't be upset about it because I have a right to show my ass. I just don't, for me, that don't make sense. Because that's not even what men do. Like, sexual freedom for men is not them posting dick pics all over the internet.
Well, men don't have to have sexual freedom. Men have the freedom to be sexual as they want to be without any negative labels.
Exactly. They have it, but they still don't choose to do that with the freedom that they had. They've never chosen to do that with the freedom that they had.
Because there's no need for a rebound effect because we haven't been suppressed into not doing it. Women have been suppressed into not doing it. Like, women who desire to do it covered up because this system wouldn't allow them to do a system of patriarchy. So this rebound effect is having been suppressed, and once you let the ball that you've been holding under the water go, it fly in the opposite direction.
But it eventually levels back out. When is the leveling gonna happen? Or is this going? Because I feel like this is what it's just gonna be. I feel like we're gonna determine that sexual freedom for women is gonna be this.
But that don't mean that that's sexual freedom for this. Like, that comes with a lot of other things. This is just the aesthetic representation of what that sexual freedom looks like for women who choose to portray it in that way. It means other things
like
that
what?
are not that.
Like what?
I don't know. Might mean she do a backflip on the dick, but she can't put that on Instagram.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have, again, for me, that's not what freedom is. Freedom is me doing what the fuck I want to do. But I don't have to prove to you that I do what the fuck I want to do by showing it.
But how can you tell the difference between people who do that doing what they want to do and not proving it, and you believing that they doing it because they trying to prove it?
I feel like we've been doing that. Like the style of dress just in general has changed in general. Like people weren't wearing crop tops and all of that shit, and we do that and nobody blinks an eye now. Like I feel like we've been doing it, but I feel like, I don't know, people thought it wasn't enough, and so now it's like it's just way too much.
If you started doing it today, I think you would recognize that the scrutiny and the DMs and the minimized respect that you get is going to be the essence of why you don't know that it's not this different than what they know. Like the women who do that. I get
DMs without doing this, so I can't imagine what the level of. But see, I wouldn't want that. I don't want that.
What I'm saying is you don't put yourself in the circumstance to see the difference between then and now, because there's never been you for you to say now that we've been doing it already. It ain't no big deal, because the aesthetic for you is that you don't like seeing it, so it all look the same to you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I don't think you got a good baseline to make that assessment. I think you have to, again.
So I would have to go and start posting my ass on Instagram and see what the response was for me to truly understand.
No. You'll say that I think that you say it's way more fucked up than I thought it was.
It would be exactly what I would imagine. If I get DMs and unsolicited dick pics from me just existing the way that I am, I would fully expect for it to be horrific, because it's bad enough when I don't do that. So I'm not under any kind of like, I'm pretty sure it's pretty fucking bad, because you cannot do anything and have to deal with that shit. So I can imagine that Chloe probably receives all kind of disrespectful shit all the time. Because you don't even have to do that and you get that. I post pictures and like I'd show y'all the like it's or like dating online dating and getting unsolicited dick pics. I don't even present myself that way, and niggas still just take like, see what stick, throw it at the wall. Even with me being the way that I am and so suppressed as everybody thinks that I am, I still get dick pics sent to me. So I can just imagine if I was freer what that would look like. A shit show, I'm sure. But I just, and so for me, it's the same thing about sex. I don't feel like for me to be sexually free means that I have to be open to have these conversations anywhere, anytime, on any occasion. Like, that's not what that is to me.
But not open is different than resistant.
I'm resistant.
You seem resistant.
I'm resistant because I don't feel like I have to do it. Like, I feel like the people who need to know those things. Because for me, that's something that somebody who I'm intimate with gets, not everybody else. Like, everybody else isn't privy to it.
But these are conversations that would never apply to you anyway. Like, these are just hypotheticals to get into. Most of the stuff we talk about on here is just talking about shit that you never gonna experience.
But most people, I maybe I'm wrong, listeners. I feel like most people are not like playing a trombone, or not a trombone, a trumpet on somebody's dick. That's fucking weird, which is what I said. And we got into a conversation about me being resistant. But that's weird. I feel like that would be weird to anybody, any normal person.
Clearly, this particular Reddit letter, she got Forrest Gump IQ. Okay, let's just get that one out of the way. All right. Clearly, I don't know what we're finna read about. I don't know what she did, but clearly something wrong with her.
And if she's asking or saying she fucked up, that means the person she did it to also thought she was weird or like had a problem with it. It was like, what the fuck? Because she wouldn't be, if he was like, yay, she wouldn't be writing it. So something had to happen when she did that shit that made her write this in.
Of course.
Something didn't go well.
Good. Because this is today I fucked up.
So
don't nobody say today I fucked up. Hi, got your bitch. Good shit happened. That's not how the thread works.
So like it's weird. This is a generally weird thing that anybody would think was weird. And
this is a weird thing, but I believe that you don't do nothing but.
And you good. I'm glad you believe that.
What?
You should believe that.
Why?
Because that way, the people who know, it's like a secret that we have. And I can assure you that people that have been with me that hear people talk about me in this way probably think it's fucking hilarious because they know something that you don't know. They know something that most niggas don't know. I like that.
I feel like that's an excuse to your resistance.
It's not though.
I mean, okay. I believe you when you say I am a different thing in front of the people that I am a different thing in front of.
Yes.
And the world don't have to know about that. But these conversations ain't even talking about your specific stuff. There's moments where I ask you, have you ever done this? But you don't be want to talk about none of this shit. Any sex topic is just... I wish y'all could see her facial expressions for some of these topics.
So, okay. We had Leon on the show. I was fully engaged in that, and it was not uncomfortable. Most of the sex talk it'd be weird shit because you wouldn't bring it on the show if it wasn't. Like you act like we have conversations about just regular bedroom activity. We don't, because nobody would want to hear that. We talk about the weird shit, and you think it's funny when the weirder it is, because there are times where I'm like, what the fuck?
I hadn't even been bringing up no sex stuff for some time now. Like I hadn't even been into.
But I'm saying when we were. Because again, if that was the case, I wouldn't have been able. It would have been odd to have the conversation with Leon. It wasn't. Like, that was an interesting episode that we had because that was sex in a way that made sense. But we talk about nonsensical shit like a trumpet penis.
But the nonsensical is a conversation to have. But when I was choosing sex topics to talk about, it was because I wanted to talk about it. Like, I knew that you were going to range from 5 to 30% involvement in it. So it wasn't a conversation I chose for us to go back and forth necessarily. It was in the scenario that she don't want to engage in this conversation. I got some stuff that I want to say about this.
But that's interesting. Like, you had it's like in our group chat, if y'all get to talking about some shit, I just mute y'all. I don't engage in it because why would I if I don't have an interest in it? Like, I don't have an interest in it. So that's not resistance, is it? If I just don't have an interest, like if y'all start a conversation, y'all were talking about cars. I fucking completely stepped out of that shit. When y'all start having that back and forth about what car, I was like, I don't care about this. So I just didn't engage. Well, that wasn't me being resistant about car talk. I just don't have an interest in car talk. I don't want to talk about that. I don't care. I hope you get a car. But I don't know enough about cars to even participate in this conversation. Video games, same thing. If y'all get into certain topics, I don't engage in.
What's going to happen in this conversation is outside of the letter that we got from Tag. You finna present some Reddit letters. I'm finna now assess whether these Reddit letters are things that you would be interested in or if they odd enough to be something that you wouldn't normally talk about.
My Reddit letters are usually the same kind of things. I don't even know if I pick anything that's crazy.
I'm going to assess.
Go ahead.
I'm going to assess. I'm going to see. Because they're things you're interested in talking about. At least by the title.
Yeah. Because I don't ever know what's going to be in them. So there's one, I can't remember.
Well, I guess that's the question then. So there's several different ways that you can choose a Reddit letter. Wow, that's interesting to me. Wow, that would be interesting to have a conversation with Red or On Point. Or wow, that would be interesting for the audience to hear. Or wow, that plays into some conversations we've been having. How do you choose the Reddit letters? Is it just, I want to talk about that, or that'll be good for us? Like, how do you choose that?
If it would be interesting for the listener. So, like, I'll go ahead and read the title of the first one I'm going to read. Am I the asshole for serving my family food from the trash? Because under what circumstances would you ever serve people food out of the trash that you would have to ask that question? So it's like shit like that. Or like, I did questions last week about dogs because I do have an interest in dogs. Maybe not as much as I think I do from time to time. Because you say I'm not a traditional dog person.
You're not.
But, so yeah, I think it's a culmination of either something I want to talk about, something I think would be good for the listeners because we're therapists. So sometimes I will pick things that are like parent-child relationships or whatever. So it's a different variety of things. They're not all things I'm necessarily interested in talking about if I think it'll be interesting. Like, I don't have an interest in eating food out of the trash, but like, who would do that and why? Like human behavior, I guess.
What kind of sex topics would then be interesting?
I mean, honestly,
even though you ain't necessarily care to talk about it, you don't necessarily.
I wouldn't choose to talk about any of them, but I do. I don't know.
I mean, you participate.
I do. So I don't. If you want me to be like actually interested, I can't give you that. It's just not gonna happen.
You don't gotta be interested. You don't have to be interested because your position is logical enough to have a conversation about something without you having to enjoy it to have a reasonable dialogue.
Yeah.
So I mean, you ain't gotta enjoy it. Like, be happy about this. Be happy about this this piece we doing. What's wrong with you? You're looking uninterested. That shit don't matter to me. I don't give a fuck. When I ask questions, you respond. Sometimes in the hilarious, sometimes in the fantastical, most of the times in the logical, and it makes sense. So, I mean.
That's where I live at, is in the logical. I step outside of that here and there, but my baseline is logical, no matter what it is.
Okay. We spent a lot of time doing that.
We did.
This felt like a bit. Let's read this letter. Sorry, Tag's like, get to the letter, motherfuckers.
Watch is gonna be something fucking stupid. Go ahead. It's gotta be stupid. It has to be.
This actually happened 4 or 5 years ago. I was living in a hotel while I was attending secondary school for the military, and my boyfriend was visiting for the weekend. He had a mild case of tinea versicolor.
The fuck is that?
Let's go figure that shit out.
She didn't say. I hate when people don't put
she didn't
no
say.
Fucking medical diagnosis in a thing and not say what it is. Like the layman knows what the fuck
right?
that is. We don't know what that is.
A fungal infection of the skin.
Ew.
The fungal interferes with the normal pigmentation of the skin. It's caused by overgrowth of yeast on the skin.
So
that sounds like white people shit.
It don't
sound like melanin problems.
Is this on his dick? Is this where this is going?
I don't know, but apparently this was Selsun Blue
because
fix.
Yeast, usually when we're talking yeast, it's your nether regions. But
have you ever used Selsun Blue?
No, but my brother had some kind of it wasn't this, but he had some kind of skin thing that the doctor told my mom to use Selsun Blue on. So it's something in Selsun Blue. Some ingredient in there that helps with that kind of stuff. So like, cause it helps with dandruff. So whatever that is, it also helps with some stuff on. Cause you can have dry skin and cause all dandruff is dry skin. So it helps with. I forgot, but my brother had to use it before.
Okay, that's what tinea versicolor is. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm smart at what I'm smart at, motherfuckers. I don't give a damn about pronouncing that shit right. Tinea versicolor. So he asked me to cover his chest and back with some Selsun Blue. I happily agreed. He got naked and I got to rubbing. What? Okay, never mind. We'll give it. I grabbed his dick, looked up at him and said, wouldn't it be fun if I played your dick like a trumpet? Like a good sport, he pretended to laugh at my attempt of a joke and I started my musical. I moved my face closer to his head and began making the trumpet noise while pushing the imaginary trumpet buttons on his shaft. This is where I really fucked up. I was having too much fun, got carried away, and my mouth accidentally made contact. Next thing I know, I felt an air bubble traveling through his shaft, and he let out the loudest screech I had ever heard. I couldn't process what just happened as he fell onto the bed, writhing in pain. He was left squirming and moaning, not good moaning, for about 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure there were a couple of tears that fell from his eyes. I felt horrible. I thought I ruined this man's penis forever, and if I didn't, I thought he would never let me get close to it again. When the pain finally subsided, I told him sorry, and he forgave me. We laughed at the events that just transpired and agreed that I was never allowed to play with dick instruments ever again. He ended up marrying me a couple of years later, so maybe dick instruments aren't really that bad. Too long didn't read. While attempting to be sexy, I pretended my boyfriend's penis was a trumpet and accidentally blew a air bubble into his dick, causing him extreme pain.
I didn't even know that you could do that.
Nobody should know.
Yeah.
Nobody
why
should know.
Would you know?
Why? I would not. That would not be a good moment. I would not. I don't even want to think about it. Do you know how hard she had to blow for that to happen?
Here's my thing. He's having you do this thing because obviously he's uncomfortable, itchy, whatever. Like, that was just, why? This man is covered in some kind of fungal fucking shit. And so on top of him having whatever the symptoms of itchiness, whatever, now his dick hurts because you being stupid. Just rub him down and get the fuck on. Like, why would you do this?
One of these comments say, we need to start calling it a suck job. Truth in advertising.
What? Oh, instead of a blow job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I never understood. Anyway. I don't like it.
So random.
I don't like it. Like how much fun was she having? Like, she was down there and then accidentally put her mouth on the end of the meat and actually blew. Like, if you were pretending to play pretending to play the trumpet, you wouldn't be blowing.
You're not blowing. Maybe she played the trumpet before. And so she just fell into like muscle memory. I don't know. I know it's fucking stupid. I know that.
No. Don't play with my meat. Period. Not in that kind of way. Not pretend like it's no damn instrument or no shit like that.
It's just weird. Like, why? Okay. You know I normally choose ones that are assholes, but I was scrolling through my regular Reddit and I subscribed to the Am I the Asshole Reddit. So as I was scrolling through the Sims and all the other Reddits that I'm on, this one popped up and I saved it. So I don't even know if they said it was too early in because they had just posted this too. Mm-hmm. So I think it hadn't been enough time for it to be voted on to determine whether or not they were the asshole. So I don't know, but I just saw that title about why would you ever feed anybody out of the trash? Like what? Why? There's an episode of Seinfeld where George was visiting his girlfriend, and her mom was having like a party or whatever, and he goes into the kitchen, takes some dishes into the kitchen. He sees that somebody laid an eclair that had a bite out of it, and they put it in the trash, but the plate was just sitting upright, so it wasn't touching anything else. And he reaches in and grabs and bites the eclair. Her mom comes through the door and catches him. And so it just looked like he was eating trash. It looked like what it was.
I mean, he was eating trash. I guess you can't deny it. I wanted to thank Tag for the letter that he sent. And I don't know if this is the case, but I want to say that it feels like you came across this letter and then the title of the email, Miles Davis on the Meat, came up and you wanted to use that email title. That's how I would have felt about it. I would have read him like, Miles Davis on the Meat. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to send that shit. But I'm interested in your perception on it. And I played the game with Tag, so I'm going to ask him I'm going to ask him when I play the game with him later today.
I have not been on Animal Crossing. He was my Animal Crossing pal, but like, I did what I needed to do. And
you abandoned everybody.
Pretty much. Because like if after you've built the city up, all there is like collecting the different animals and stuff throughout the different seasons of the year, and I don't know. And I bought all them little amiibo cards and all. When I get into something, I'm in it while I'm in it, and then when I'm done with it, it's just kind of like it never happens. And I'm kind of there with Animal Crossing, unfortunately. Okay. Am I the asshole for serving my family food from the trash? My immediate response is yes. I don't know what circumstances could make me say no. For context, my sister and I grew up relatively poor. When I was 6, our mom took a promotion and moved 3 hours away. We found out in our adult life she had been hoarding her money and giving our alcoholic father a small allowance to raise us. With his addiction problems, it left us minimum money for essentials. By the time I was 16, we were technically on our own and were ransacking dumpsters to feed myself and my sister. I now am in my late 30s, have a successful career, and live quite comfortably. My sister is also well off now. My wife and I have a great relationship. I've worked to stop some of my old habits from upbringing. Some of my penny pinching techniques my wife graciously ignores and lets me save our money where I can. However, there's one issue we always can't find a compromise. I can't handle when food is thrown out. Our daughter, who is 12, wanted chickens last year. That ended up being a good idea since our table scraps would go to them instead of being wasted to the trash. For the record, I hate when my wife shops at Costco. She buys too much for our family, which creates a lot of waste. I've asked her to at least donate what we don't eat or give it to me and I can drop it off at a homeless camp near my job. She promised to just buy less quantity, but that didn't last because she doesn't like grocery shopping more than once a week. Who grocery shops more than that? What the fuck?
Who dropped motherfucking leftover food off at the shelter? Like
somebody with a lot of trauma.
You can take a plate of fucking chicken and collard greens to the shelter, hand it to them, and they be like, "Hey Johnny, somebody done bought in a plate. Come get it. It's some greens on here." Is that how that shit works?
I don't think that is how that works. Last week I came home and found a sealed pack of lettuce, one whole cucumber, an entire loaf of bread, and potatoes in the trash can outside. The lettuce was expired, but looked fine, sir, because if it was expired. The bread was also expired, but had no mold. The potatoes had eyes, but weren't green or rotten yet. I went inside and started on dinner. I grilled chicken, which was the only item not from the trash. You took the shit out the trash and made this food. I made a salad and added the cucumber, used the bread to make croutons, and finally I made mashed potatoes. We all sat down to eat. My wife mentioned how great the food was. I told her it was what she had thrown out earlier that day. She was completely mortified and grossed out. I would have whooped his ass.
I don't know why he would even say that.
I told her I washed everything off before cooking it, but she said that it didn't matter. My point was, if the food was good enough for us to eat, it should not have been thrown out. At bare minimum, she could have given it to our daughter to take to the chickens. She argued back that I should have taken it from the trash and to the chickens, not to our table. She was irritated with me, feared we all have food poisoning or something, but none of us got sick from the food. She said regardless, it was wrong for me to prove a point in that manner and borderline abusive to serve the family food from the trash. I don't really see what I did wrong. There are starving people in this world, and for us to throw out perfectly fine food just doesn't sit right with me. Am I the asshole? Sir, you need therapy. I know you tried on your own to come out of some of this stuff from your childhood. Obviously, you have not done enough on your own. Because what the fuck? You fed your... Like,
you don't know how long that food had been in the trash can. You don't know if bugs have interacted with that food. It's so many things that could go wrong. And just because you used to eat out the dumpster and you got a wife who used to throw shit away when it's expired, don't mean your motherfucking trauma overrides somebody else's comfort.
Because you should never want your... If you experience that, you should never have wanted your daughter to eat trash out of the trash can, or eat food out of the trash can. You should never have wanted her to have that experience that you had because you were forced to. You had her have it to prove a fucking point, which is much worse. Like, it's terrible that your dad had an alcohol problem and that this was... But y'all were doing that because of his illness, he wasn't able to take care of y'all. It was out of necessity. You did this to prove a point. That is so fucked up. And you gotta get, either you ought to get therapy or we get a divorce, because I'm going to fuck you up. Like, it's gonna be a murder. So I need you to either agree, if I was his wife, you gonna either go talk to somebody or this is over with. Because if you ever feed me and my child some fucking shit out of the garbage can again, it's gonna end in murder. All right? Like, that's not okay. I'm sorry that you went through that, but no.
And did he go look in the trash cans and he suspected his wife?
He must just check the trash cans every day, because who the fuck noticed that? It was already in the trash can outside. All the trash cans that I've seen at houses that are like the outside trash that the people come and pick up have lids on it. So you had to open that shit up and look in there to see if she threw some shit away. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You're crazy. I know this is your trauma response. I fully understand that. You need to go get some therapy.
You need some help. Because
you can't, this is not it. You are still very negatively impacted by your upbringing, and the strides you have made, that's great. You've made strides financially, like you're in a better financial position, but mentally, you are still fucking back there. That's crazy. Nigga.
You're the asshole, bro.
Yeah. So you're the asshole. You need to find ways to heal from your childhood trauma without digging food out of the trash. Just because you were okay this time doesn't mean that it wasn't a bad decision, especially feeding it to your family without their consent.
And like, He could have just not said it. Like, if it was just about, I just want to save food, he could have not said it. If he wanted his wife to stop throwing food away, this wasn't the way to go about it. Like, he's not going to get the result he want out of this.
He's not.
At all. If the result is, I don't want my wife to throw this food away, that's a conversation. That's not taking the food that she threw away out of the trash can, cooking it, waiting for her to say it's good, and then being like, well, it's the food you threw away. See, it can be good. We can keep eating it. Oh, nigga. That ain't how you do that.
What is ESH?
ESH? I don't know, idea.
This is some kind of a response.
It ain't on the side. It's like a little word thing on the side that tell you. Oh, everyone sucks here.
No, everyone doesn't suck. So what they're saying is, oh, she's wasteful. She threw out expired food. And people are saying you could donate it. Is it not fucked up to take food that you wouldn't even eat yourself and just get, like, the homeless will eat it? They'll eat anything.
But y'all can donate these nuts.
Like, how y'all
You telling me to go eat no goddamn trash can food or go donate it? I'm finna not drive downtown to get them niggas a half-eaten plate of grits and eggs. Fuck is wrong with y'all?
The people who are saying everyone sucks here is because they're saying that she's wasteful, that she could be donating, or...
If you those of you who think that if you had a food shelter and people came in there to get food, would you let people from the street bring in leftovers to just put in the refrigerator and for people to eat? Would you do that?
No.
Or if somebody bought an expired head of lettuce, would you let them? Would you accept that? Like, it's expired food. Now, okay, I know that the expiration date don't mean shit. I know the FDA make you put expiration dates on certain shit. So I get that piece. I really do. And I eat shit past the expiration date. I drink shit past the expiration date. But I get to make that decision myself.
Yeah.
I consent to that shit. What that nigga should have did is he should have cooked a whole meal for his family that didn't have all the expired shit in it and added the extra shit that was expired for his own meal.
Yeah.
And when they be like, Daddy, why you get more food than we get? Because these things were in the trash, honey. And you know what? Daddy don't like throwing shit away. But since Mommy does, I'm going to eat the food that would go to the trash. So, Mommy, if you don't mind, keep that, but just put it to the side so I know that it's things I should eat. And if you don't get a lettuce because you don't eat the lettuce when it's the day old, then that's a sacrifice that y'all are going to have to make. Like, there was more reasonable shit that could have been done in this conversation. Motherfucker, make her eat out. I will put pause on a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever opened up? Like, there's no the day that you got the trash can fresh out, then maybe it smelled clean. But like, the trash can don't smell that clean that long.
They absolutely not.
You can't manage trash can juice leaking out into your trash can. Now you can't clean it, but that response remind me of Colin, because Colin was I think he was unhappy last week. He this is the only thing he sent. Title, all caps, don't put your poop in my trash. Don't do it. I maintain my belongings and clean bins, keep critters, rats, etc. away. And that's it. He must heard that shit and got disgusted. I wish a motherfucker would put dog shit in my trash can. They're gonna get their ass dumped in my trash can and they gonna have to get out themselves.
It's a trash. Okay. I don't.
It's my trash can for my trash, not your doggy boo-boo.
Okay. I'm not gonna. Okay. I get some help, sir. That's all I could like. That isn't okay. So this, I want to read this one because this.
And all the people in the all the people in the comment section who saying everybody sucks here and all that shit, go get you some help too. Y'all grew up with poverty. Y'all need to go get some assistance.
This person is saying everybody sucks here, but this first sentence, we basically make everything we can from scratch. That's you, bitch. I really hate when people feel like because you do something, the whole world should do it. If you make things from scratch, you enjoy it. She said, I enjoy cooking. We're on a budget, so it's the easiest, healthiest, and cheapest way for us to eat, and we make good stuff. We try and limit our shopping in one big run every other weekend with the occasional stop. That's what you and your family have decided to do. You cannot use that as a barometer for what the fuck else everybody else is supposed to do. Shut up. Good for you that y'all do that, but you can't use that as a barometer for everybody else. That was terrible. I figured it was going to be, because what good reason could you have to ever feed your family out of a trash can? Unless you are, in fact, homeless and y'all don't have access to anything else. But choosing to do that shit is fucked up.
I chose a bunch of different ones, but one of them, I really want to know what happened.
Okay.
I'm going to read down the ones that I was going to choose, though.
Okay.
And maybe we don't have time to go do them. Am I the asshole for telling my friend the link she's going to interfere with my marriage is unhealthy? Am I the asshole for throwing my friend out of my birthday party because she asked for a smaller piece of cake?
What?
I don't know. I never asked for a smaller piece of cake. Give me a bigger piece of cake.
I would ask for a smaller piece, but I wouldn't expect to get fucking kicked out of a party because
if you finna kick me out of a party because I asked for a smaller piece of cake, I'm finna put hands on you. I'm finna get kicked out for a reason now. Like, I'm gonna make a reason for me to be getting kicked out the party so that I can tell people in the future that I get kicked out because I put hands on a motherfucker. And when they ask me why I put hands on a motherfucker, then I'm gonna say because I asked for a smaller piece of cake or whatever. Anyway,
that's so fucking petty.
I am not attractive enough to date the people I'm physically attracted to. What do I do? My ex is getting catfished. Should I warn him or just let things unfold as they may?
He your ex. Mind your fucking business.
My boyfriend proposed, but I don't know how to say no without hurting his feelings. And this is the one I want to do.
What you do? Put it on pause? Because when somebody asks you, don't you have to give an answer then? So did you say yeah? Now you want to say no? You want to back out? Like
I don't know. Not saying yes is no. Like I don't care how you. It's just what it is. This is the one I want to do. It says relationship advice. So my dad, 59, cheated on my mom, 59. They both gathered us in the living room to explain they were getting a divorce. Things heated up and mom asked the children, me, I'm 37 male, my sis 34. And my little bro, 30, to pick sides. Complete mayhem ensues. Not sure how to proceed from there. Let's read this.
That was the fucking title?
Yes, that was the title.
That's the whole letter. I thought you was reading it.
Sorry if this reads disjointed. It happened a day ago and it's still fresh. All right, from the start. So mom and dad never had the greatest of relationships. They were both old school in the bad sense. He liked to have nothing to do at all. No home, no cooking, no cleaning. And mom had a fatalistic outlook on life, considered they should stay together for the sake of the kids, despite said kids being out of the house, independent, and with limited contact to them. By limited, I mean that apart from my sister, whose house is 1 minute away on foot, me and my brother live rather far from our parents. And our parents were never great at communicating their love, so our conversations tend to be rather factual and short. But we still try to see them for the sake of our own kids so that they can have grandparents in their life. I have 2 kids. My sis has 2. My little brother has none. I don't think I ever saw him with a girlfriend. Anyway, their fatalistic marriage went on just as we got on with life, trying to spend the weekend here, weekend there at parents' home so the grandchildren could see each other, and I caught up the latest with my sister and brother. Cue yesterday when mom solemnly put the grandchildren away and summoned us to the living room before closing the door. So far, so good. Turns out dad, who stayed at home to do nothing all except maybe go to his theater group with 2 friends, had slept with a woman from the neighboring village. I think I remember the name of and face vaguely. My sister definitely does not. My sister definitely does, and she knows everyone everywhere. My brother shrugged as he's the opposite in that regard and barely knows anyone from any place he lived his entire childhood, let alone 5 minutes away. Dad said there was no love left in the marriage, hence why he got weak and did it. Talking it out with my sis and bro, we agreed there had been no love in the marriage for roughly the last 20 years or so. Mom got understandably angry and asked for a divorce. So far, so good. They then talked about who would get what. They built a big house together, have several more that they're renting. While they can agree on how to split the houses they're renting, they both claim dibs on the family house. Mom has her big garden and her plants in her kitchen, and Dad has his workshop and machines and all the stuff he tinkers with. I'd like to point out that they started to get angry because of the cheating or the lack of love or the children and grandchildren, but because they couldn't agree who would get the house. So they both argue, voices are rising, while I try without success to calm them down, explaining it is still fresh and nothing good will come out of it. My sister does too and tries not to cry. She's a very emotional person. My brother's the only one still sitting on the sofa eating an apple and hoping he can leave soon. Me and sister fail, and it ends with mom telling us we have to pick sides and cut either dad or mom out of our lives because she considers seeing him as endorsing adultery and she can't stand that. Now I'm obviously angry at Dad for what he did, but I wasn't about to pick the side there and now. I want my children to have contact with their grandparents, both of them, even if divorced, and so does my sister. I told them as such, and I couldn't just make a decision out of the heat of the moment. Of course, this did nothing to calm them, and there were lots of tears and shouts. Cue my little brother standing up and calmly explained that Dad was always at home, yet never cared about raising his kids and was a complete stranger. Extreme, but he's not entirely wrong either. Then calmly explained that Mom's only way of raising us was with orders and slaps that should we not comply, and that her love was proportional to the amount of obedience we show her. Again, too extreme for my taste, but it was his basis in reality. Both parents are old school, as said, raised in a farm where life was rude and parents ruder still. They kept that. He proceeded to say both of them were utterly shitty parents and not even good human beings, and that he should have cut ties with both of them long ago, but didn't because it was a convenient way to see his nephews and nieces. He added that they could stick the inheritance where the sun didn't shine, gave them both a middle finger, smiled, and left the room. My little brother has two modes: discreet and very, very silent 99% of the time, and nuclear 1% of the time, where he doesn't so much burn bridges as blow them up and laugh maniacally as fire and debris rain down all around him. So far, just kidding. Nothing was good from the start, but that's when shit hit the fan. Needless to say, the dispute my parents had before the little bro told him to get lost looked like a polite NATO diplomatic meeting compared to what came after. Dad got extra angry, Mom got extra angry, my sister started to cry for good, and I got a headache. Mom ranted about how we never loved her in the first place. Dad was making grand gestures as if he was making strong argumentative points, but no words actually left his mouth. Mom randomly grabbed her face and slammed the table. Dad, and so forth and so on. I'm almost done.
That's so long, unnecessarily.
I took my sister by the arm and led her out. My little brother had already gathered my girlfriend, my sister's boyfriend, and the kids to bring them over to my sister's place at the end of the road. Looked like a haven of peace by comparison. So there we are a day after. We all slept very cramped but in blissful silence. We explained to the kids in the morning that sometimes people don't love each other anymore. They break up, hopefully with more diplomacy, and now we're waiting, I guess. I mean, I'm pretty certain that the best thing to do is go home for now and wait for things to calm down. It's just a little before picking up contact with Mom and Dad to see how things are. But hell, I didn't expect a weekend of vacation to go down like this. I had to write it somewhere. If you have any advice on the situation, honestly, I appreciate the support.
That was way too many details for what it was. That could have been so much shorter.
The hero is the brother.
Yeah.
The hero is the brother. This man done explain how his parents' marriage been fucked up the whole time, and brother the only one who had the balls to get up and tell them that they shit been fucked up. Fuck y'all. Bye.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is. That's how I feel.
So first of all, parents, do not do this. Okay, your marriage is between the two of you. Okay. It does not involve your fucking kids. That's your situation. The family involves the kids. The marriage does not. If somebody cheat, why the fuck are you having a family meeting and announcing that shit? Just get the divorce. Just say, because the fact of the matter is, based off the description of the younger brother, the relationship was ass. So if y'all just came to them and said, we're getting a divorce, nobody would have been like, oh my God, y'all seem so happy. Like they knew y'all weren't happy together. So this was unnecessary. Then two, when you get a divorce from your spouse, you are divorcing your spouse. It is unfair for you to ask your children to divorce their other parent, because that ain't got shit to do with them. So asking them to pick sides is fuck shit. Okay? You don't want to ever talk to that nigga again? Cool. Don't. But you cannot tell your kids, he cheated on me. How could you talk to him? Because he's still my fucking dad. And him cheating on you doesn't have anything to do with my relationship as a child to him. Okay? I hate when parents do that shit. Don't put your kids in the middle of that shit. Like, y'all need to handle that shit as adults, separate for them. Okay? And writer, you're an adult. Okay? If you don't let this shit rock and just continue whatever relationship you want to have with each of your parents, don't get involved. Because it don't involve you.
And this is how you know somebody treat their kids like assets. When they can be like, we gonna split the kids up too. The kids which one y'all going with, kids? And if you go with one, you can't go to the other. This is the contract. Like, what? Huh?
And these are adults. These ain't even kids that y'all actually got to go through. These are grown ass people that can make their own fucking decision. How you gonna tell them who they can? Get the fuck out of here. I talk to who the fuck I want to. And the way y'all are going, I ain't gonna talk to. I'm gonna be like, little bro, I ain't talking to neither one of y'all crazy asses, because both of you are nuts. You're insane. That is crazy.
Very much so.
Writer, Mind your business, okay? Don't let them pull you into this because it ain't got nothing to do with you. If your life at home with your family is cool, you go and see your mom and your dad as you want to, and you stay out of that shit as far as it pertains to their divorce. That is their shit to handle. They gonna have to figure it out. Don't let them pull you into that because the marriage is between the two people that are in it. The kids don't have shit to do with that.
And y'all, don't stay in no problematic garbage ass marriage just for the sake of some fucking protocol bullshit. Leave that motherfucking marriage if it ain't working out for you. Staying for kids is worse off for your kids. It's gonna have your younger child at 30 years old cuss your ass out, shoot you a bird, and say I should have went no contact with you bitches long ago. Bye.
I am the poster child for telling people not to do that shit because that is what my parents did, and we were not better off having them both in the house. They were miserable with each other, which made us miserable, and that's all we got to see out of a relationship was two miserable ass people fighting and arguing with each other, one with a addiction problem. That is not, you staying together for the kids is not a good excuse. It's not a good reason. I'm sorry. If you are not both healthy parents, staying together for the kids doesn't make any sense. Why? For what? It doesn't do. I had two bodies in the household. That's exactly what it felt like. Two bodies, two adults. But we did not benefit from them remaining married to each other. We just didn't. It's not how it worked. So I'm such a huge proponent for not doing that. Don't do that. Thinking that it's best for the kids. Your kids see your relationship. What are you showing them by doing that?
I think it's less ever best for the kids, and that's the excuse that people use to say I don't know what to do with my life if I don't have the shit that I have right now. It doesn't make sense because this shit clearly wasn't best for the kids.
No.
Your kids is only around you so they kids can have a fucking grandparent. If that's the only reason your kids are, they ain't say because I love my parents. They didn't say because they good people. They didn't say because my kids can learn shit. It's just like my kids deserve to have you old motherfuckers. That's it. I don't want you. I don't need you. And I'm going to take myself away from you. But they let their kids, like, that's the worst thing ever. But it is what it is. So, what's happening now is we're at an hour. We did a listener letter. I did one. You did one. Do you want to do another one?
I don't even know if I have one that I even care about enough to extend it out. Nah. This one is another one that I was just kind of like, what? Am I the asshole for serving unrefrigerated eggs and homemade cheese? I don't know. Because I think eggs, if you take an egg from a chicken, like you on the farm, I don't know that people on farms refrigerate eggs. Do eggs have to be refrigerated?
Not, they last longer in the refrigerator like other meat. The refrigerator was a technological advancement that make eggs last long. The issue is that eggshells are porous, and so air can eventually seep through them. That's how the way to tell if eggs are bad is if you put them in water and they float, they bad. Too much air done got into the eggs. But as long as eggs sink to the bottom of your sink, then they fine to serve. And they can be outside for several days. I've left my eggs out of the refrigerator for up to 3 days before, and they've been fine.
I mean, I'm thinking homemade cheese is person probably got like a farm or something. Because who the fuck out here making cheese? Other than motherfuckers on the farm. And like unrefrigerated eggs. Let me just read it real quick. I don't know. My husband and I have a small urban homestead. We raise a flock of chickens and several goats. So naturally we eat a lot of eggs and goat milk. I made cheese from the goat's milk as well. I hosted a breakfast for my family and my brother-in-law informed me his sister was coming. She's lovely. The sister is undergoing chemo. I have Crohn's and totally get being immune compromised. So I was careful to have my kitchen super clean when I was cooking. I made sure there were no allergies. Again, I have Crohn's, so I get food sensitivities. I made a goat's cheese quiche, bacon, biscuits, and a few other things. Fast forward to the day of everything. She put this wrong, but everything goes great. I guess this was supposed to be. Oh, her 8-year-old? 8-year-old pipes up that she helped make the cheese. Brother-in-law's sister said, "Surely you didn't make the cheese." I assure her I helped. It's totally safe. She begins panicking and says she can't have unpasteurized milk. I told her the type of cheese I make is totally cooked and the milk is effectively pasteurized, especially with it then being baked. I had specifically brought cow's milk from the store to serve with the breakfast because it was pasteurized, but figured my cheese was safe. Brother-in-law says it was totally inappropriate and I'm a jerk for not knowing she needed everything pasteurized. I said everything comes from our goats and chickens and that cooking it thoroughly will kill off any pathogens. Brother-in-law's sister then gets upset when she realized the eggs weren't from the store. Apparently, all the homegrown eggs have salmonella, she says. Does she know where eggs come from? That they all eventually come from that? And then they go to, like...
She should.
Homegrown eggs have salmonella? That would mean all eggs have salmonella. The ones in the store, too, dumbass. Again, nothing raw was on the table except for fruit. I apologize for not realizing she was uncomfortable with home-raised dairy and eggs and got called several curse words to my face. Everything was eaten at this point. Brother-in-law and his sister were angry and left. Like, maybe I don't understand cancer protocol, but I genuinely had no clue I needed to be this stringent. Am I the asshole? No, they tripping.
You didn't need to be that stringent.
They are fucking tripping. Like, wow. I don't know. It's excessive. Excessive. Excessive.
Oh, you saying? I was about to say, you doing that on purpose?
I wasn't, but it worked. No.
Listen, don't go over nobody's house who got a fucking homestead and think they going to buy a carton of eggs, especially now them bitches cost $13.
Expensive as fuck. Yeah.
Like, don't think that's happening and expect them to use all of the shit that they use in their motherfucker. Like, they didn't say this tastes horrible.
Nope.
They didn't say this wasn't good. And when the fuck did she drink unpasteurized milk to know that she can't have unpasteurized milk? When the what? Goat's milk can be drinking from its natural state by humans.
Yep. I drank goat's milk as a baby because I have lactose intolerance.
Cow's milk can't, which is why it has to be pasteurized, which is why she said goat's milk is effectively pasteurized because we can use it. Like, when did she drink unpasteurized milk? Like, how do you even get that shit? How do you get unpasteurized milk? Did she just lay on her back and let people squeeze the milk into her mouth from the cow and be like, oh, my stomach's doing bad. I can't drink this unpasteurized milk because I've been sucking on this damn cow's teeth. Who the fuck, bro? I would have kicked they motherfucking ass out of my house. Come to my house and tell me about some shit. Like if somebody came to my house and said, real bacon? You don't use turkey bacon? Oh my God, I can't eat real bacon. Why didn't you tell me it was going to be turkey bacon? You're not eating today. You're not eating shit today. Get out of my house. Leave. Period.
If you go to a farm, how do you not expect to eat farm fresh food? What the fuck do you think they got the farm for? Like, what? I'm confused as to why they were so shocked that these were farm fresh eggs. You saw the chickens when you rolled up. That this is milk that was... You saw the goat outside. Like, where's the disconnect here? Y'all sound crazy. Y'all sound fucking nuts. You're not the asshole, and I would never allow them to come back to my house ever again. Because first of all, did she say... The sister-in-law wasn't even invited, or the brother-in-law's sister wasn't invited. Y'all just fucking brought her. Okay, first of all. Let's see.
I would have threw eggs at her ass.
Yeah, she invited her sister and the brother-in-law, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna bring my sister." I didn't invite your sister. Okay.
I bet she was like, "Hubby, do you think that they have range and cage-free eggs?" Yeah, probably. I hope they got them from Publix.
And that's the thing. What people pay extra for them cage-free eggs. You got this shit right here. That's what, like, the same way it don't make sense that she's saying that eggs from the farm all eggs in the store came from that shit. Like, where do you think they get the eggs from? Where does she think eggs come from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they do shit to eggs so that they have the white shell. But eggs that come out of a chicken's ass are not like the ones in the store. Humans do shit to them so that they're, like, store ready. But all of them eggs come from chickens. So for you to say that all eggs from chickens got salmonella, you sound fucking crazy. Bitch, people pay extra for eggs that came directly from chickens. Or supposedly. That still had a brown shell. Mm-hmm. Range-free, cage-free. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all sound crazy as hell. Let me see. What did she say about salmonella? Homegrown eggs have salmonella. Homegrown? All of them are. What are you talking about? Where do you think they come from? You're not the asshole. They tripping. Y'all upset about this shit. And meanwhile, we got another motherfucker that's feeding his family out in the trash. Like, actually, people just do the most. Too much. It's too much. But yeah, that's it. The rest of them can wait if they're there still next week.
Gotcha.
I've saved quite a few.
Alrighty then. What else? Anything else on your mind? Do you see about them police officers in Atlanta? I know we ain't doing news like that, but
the five.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what? It's so fucked up. It's hard to know if the world has changed to hold police officers accountable,
or if it's because they were all black
police officers. Like, they're expendable in that system.
Yes, they are. I saw that. I saw where DeSantis in Florida is outlawing a AP. Here's the thing. So that shit happened. I had a kid that I talked to this week who had an assignment at school to read a poem by Rupert Kipling, the man that wrote the Jungle Book, called The White Man's Burden. This is a black kid. And this is not an AP class that she can choose to take. This is her regular English class, and she has to do this assignment in order for her to get the grade so she can fucking graduate. So, but nobody gives a fuck about that. Like, she can have, and it is about exactly what you think it's about. It is about, basically he's saying that it is the burden of the white man to civilize all other non-white people. It's a whole poem about this, written in like 1899. But that's cool. Black kids can do it. That's fine. But like, oh God, they're going to learn about African American? No. No, absolutely not. DeSantis, shut the fuck up. First of all, AP classes are classes that are chosen to take. So all the kids that want to take an African American's AP class, those are the ones that's going to be in it. Mm-hmm. It's not, you're not forced to. So like, I don't know why you acting like this is something that's being forced on everyone, because it's not. And there are things in regular school curriculum that's problematic, but it's not problematic to white kids, so nobody cares. Because first of all, when this kid told me this shit, I was like, get the fuck out of here. I had to go look it up because I ain't never heard of that shit. I didn't read shit like that in my high school English class. I didn't know that existed. She had to read it and write. So there's also a black man made a response to, apparently, is around the same time, that's called The Black Man's Burden. Of course, that's not going to
fly.
Yeah.
There's no damn Alabama.
So, it's just so funny. It's always okay for us to have to deal with stuff, but white people, absolutely not. We are not going to allow this. Let the blacks deal with that. We're not going to deal with that. It's problematic. It's so trash. Like, and the point, like I said, it's basically like, it is our burden. This is just what we have to do. We have to civilize it. And it's actually about Filipino people. But any non-white people, that's their burden. They got to civilize the world. Because everybody else is uncivilized. If you ain't white,
Pass. I pass on that one.
If my kid brought that assignment home, I want to know, what is the educational value of her reading this? Like, I wouldn't even go up there and show my ass, because I feel like that you always have to be so careful as black, especially a black female. I don't want to be the angry black woman, but like, I'm sending her here to learn. You chose this assignment, so what is the educational value in her reading this bullshit? Help me understand, since you gave her the assignment, and she has to do this. This isn't a choice, because she has to take this class. She has to pass your class. So I want you to tell me, why did you give her this assignment? All the black kids in your class.
I'm about ready to put hands on them, ain't you? I told you about when the music teacher in 4th grade had us singing Dixie. And all the black kids started sitting out except me because I didn't really know how to explain to my mama what was happening, and she never involved herself in the school like that. So I'm up there with all the white kids singing. But she eventually just put all the black kids on the side because it's like...
Instead of removing the assignment, you still making them feel like other. Like you just put them on this fucking side. Like, there's some... Yeah. But this is what I'm saying about, like, the people who say all of this shit about critical race theory. Y'all, shut the fuck. You don't care. Just say what it is. You don't want your little white kids feeling bad. It doesn't matter that black kids have had to feel bad forever and continue to do so because you don't give a fuck about them. It's not about kids. It's about white kids. Say that because that's what it is. Because we've been dealing with shit forever. That's fucked up. Again, instead of pulling the assignment, choosing a different song, you sideline the black kids and you okay with that. And it's okay that these little kids got to feel bad about not being included. You don't give a fuck about that because your white kids still got to participate. That's fuck shit. And that was how all them years ago because we're old. And it's still going on and nobody cares. But, we going to keep this critical race theory shit out of these schools because white kids shouldn't have to feel bad. America, if you're ashamed of your history, just say that. Because it's not like people are teaching lies, okay? It's what y'all fucking did. So just say that. Say you embarrassed by what the fuck you did. Because it's the truth. And if you mad at the truth, then I don't know what to tell you. It's bullshit.
Ain't shit to tell them.
It's just ridiculous. Like, and this is what people when black people are saying racism is still alive and well and we still have to deal with shit, and white people are like, no, it isn't. This is what we're talking about. It's this shit that y'all don't see because you don't want to see it, and it doesn't negatively impact you. So you can completely just ignore the shit. We can't. This is what our reality is. And that wasn't even my kid. I was mad as fuck when she told me she had that goddamn assignment. I said, they got you reading what?
Damn.
And she got to. Again, this ain't something she can choose to not do. It's an assignment in the class. She got to do it.
Yeah.
Bullshit, man. That shit pissed me off. Everyone,
as it should. As it should have.
Whew.
But yeah, that being said, you got anything else on your mind?
No, I think I ranted enough.
All right. Well, until we come to the next conversation.
We out.
Holla.